songbooks. Thank you, Tsahala. Yeah. Shabbat Shalom, Ruth. Good to see you. Yeah. Yeah. The camera's up there. Don't wave to the TV, but wave to the camera up there. Hi, Sam. Shabbat Shalom. Well, we have a treat tonight for services because a lot of our choir members have come to just enjoy Shabbat and sing and just enjoy the thrill of singing together. So that will enliven our music this evening. Let's start off with something you don't need your prayer book for. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Our Shabbat candles will be lit this evening by Susie Mosca. Please turn to page 3.
O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter this sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love.
Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Lai, 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 lai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Well, let's share simchas. Simchas, good things that happened to you this past week. Does anybody here in the room have a simcha you would like to share with the congregation? Simchas from this week? Simchas, looking for a simcha from this week? Good simchas from this week. It was a light week. It was a light week. And anybody online have a simcha that you want to enter into the chat? Wow, this is a first. There was something. Okay, so Liz had something. What is it, Caitlin?
Liz said, attended a lovely wedding, saw our son, and saw a part of California we never had.
Wow. Those of you online probably saw that. Liz attended a wedding, saw their son, and a part of California they've never been to. Wow. Mazel tov, Liz. Ruth also? Yeah. What did Ruth say? Oh, Ruth, you're muted, or you're not muted, but we are, so we can't actually hear you. Yeah, go ahead.
It was a simcha.
Host unmuted you. Go ahead.
Yes?
Okay.
try
My
again.
grandson got married
Okay,
on.
sorry. We're not able to hear your audio here in
All
this
right.
area.
It was good.
Page 6. Would you please read responsively at the bottom of the page? May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship. May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture. May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity. May its threshold be no stumbling block to the young or straying feet. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. May this synagogue be, for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life. Page 10, second song on the page. Maya Shabbat Shalom, Maya Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Let me sing that again, okay? Maya Shabbat Shalom, Maya Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Oh, Ruth's grandson was married last Sunday. Mazel tov, Ruth. Yes, I knew that was coming, but I didn't realize when that was going to happen. Mazel tov. Page 27. Please read with me at the bottom of the page. Entrances to holiness are everywhere. The possibility of ascent is all the time. Even at unlikely times and through unlikely places, there is no place on earth without the presence. Let's rise for Baruch Hu. Yai lai 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 lai. 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 Yai lai 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 lai. Lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Lai 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 lai. Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai lai. Yai lai lai lai. Yai lai 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 lai. You may be seated. Let's read together on the top of page 31. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'ma'ariv Aravim, page 33. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. I thought I would offer a prayer on the theme of love in place of Ve'ahavta. This is a poem by Stu Kestenbaum from his book called Prayers and Run-On Sentences. It is entitled Prayer in the Strip Mall, Bangor, Maine. The week after Thanksgiving, and the stores are decked out for holiday shopping, including a TJ Maxx, where what was once too expensive loses its value and attracts us. There is a store with a big yellow banner proclaiming Giant Book Sale, a seasonal operation of remaindered books, which doesn't mean that the books aren't good, only that the great machinery of merchandising didn't engage its gears in quite the right way. And I buy 2 books of poetry, and I'm leaving the store, the first snowstorm of the winter on the way. And as I get to the glass double doors, a bearded man with a cane is entering. He has been walking with a woman who is continuing on to another store, and he has the look that could make him either eccentrically brilliant or just plain simple. And as I open the door and he opens the other side, he turns and says, "I love you." Not to me, but calling back to his friend who is departing. Only he said it looking at me, closest to me, which is unintended love, random love, love that should be spread throughout the world, shouted in our ears for free. Page 43. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, Leshalom. Same thing again, Hashkivenu. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, Leshalom. V'ha'amidenu, Shomreinu l'chaim, Ufros aleinu, Sukkot Shlomecha. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, Leshalom. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, Leshalom. Page 45. Please read with me. We are a people in whom the past endures, in whom the present is inconceivable without moments gone by. The Exodus lasted a moment enduring forever. What happened once upon a time happens all the time. We rise for the Amidah. Ya da 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 da, 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 ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da, Adonai, Sifatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid, Tehilatecha, Adonai, Sifatai
תפתח ופי יגיד תהילתך. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואמהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
You may be seated. Page 54. You set aside the seventh day for your name, the pinnacle of creation, and you blessed it above all other days, more sacred than all festival times. So it is written in your Torah, the heaven and the earth were finished in all their array. On the seventh day God had completed the work that had been done, ceasing then on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. Then God blessed the seventh day and made it holy, and ceased from all the creative work that God had chosen to do. Together, our God and God of our ancestors, be pleased with our rest. Sanctify us with your mitzvot, and grant us a share in your Torah. Satisfy us with your goodness, and gladden us with your salvation. Purify our hearts to serve you in truth. In your gracious love, Adonai our God, grant as our heritage your holy Shabbat, that Israel who sanctifies your name may rest on it. Praise to you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai, Mikadesh HaShabbat. We're going to sing a setting for the Avodah prayer that is in the songbook on page 30. Say Adonai Eloheinu ve'amecha Yisrael u'tefilata be'ahava tikabel. Humbled in prayer we seek to reach you, hearts open wide.
still clear voice within us all. May we be worthy in our prayer and feel your presence everywhere. May we answer when you call. We'd say Adonai Eloheinu, Be'amecha Yisrael, U'tefilata, Be'ahava tikabel. Oh, let us know that you are near. Open our hearts so we may hear the still clear voice within us all. May we be worthy in our prayer and feel your presence everywhere. May we answer when you call. And may you answer when we call. We'd say Adonai Eloheinu. We'd say Adonai Eloheinu. Back in the prayer book on page 59. We read together, God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot. And in a moment, Caitlin, I'm going to have the choir sing something. I wonder if you're able to turn the neat bar mic on so that people online can hear. Are you able to do that from there? Yeah, I'm giving you a heads up. While I explain, you can give it a try and see if you can get it, because I know that those of you watching online can't actually hear the choir right now because they're not mic'd. So we're going to see if there's a way for you to be able to hear them. So at Thanksgiving, the Interfaith Thanksgiving service, there were choirs from several churches and our choir, and each did a different piece in the service, but there was one song that all the choirs sang together. It was a beautiful interfaith song because it's a traditional church hymn that was composed in Latin, and we sang it in Latin, in Arabic, and Hebrew. And the words are perfectly appropriate for us, and in all three languages they really work. And so we're gonna try that. It's a little bit of we're taking a risk here, okay? Going out on a limb. We're gonna do this in all three languages for you, and perhaps it will be a familiar melody to you. So we'll see how this goes. What do you think? Yes or no? No, I'm actually asking Caitlin. What do you think? Is that going to happen? What's that? Yeah, you don't want to unmute them. Yeah. Let's do this standing up. It's going to be easier. And you'll be here. Let me see if I can notes this is. Oh, there we go. All right, forget it. I'm going to pull them up front. I'm going to get them to stand up here, then they'll be heard through the microphone. Great thinking. Wonderful.
Good job, Kathy.
Okay, crowd sound.
Greg is going to sing too.
Stop that? All right.
Sorry.
They've got some good songs too, you know, I mean, beautiful. Silent prayer, words for silent prayer can be found on pages 62 and 63. Ose shalom bimromav huya ase shalom leinu vel kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. Ose shalom bimromav huyase shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru amen. It's so wonderful to sing with the choir. It just fills my heart. At this time in our worship, we ask for healing for members of our congregation and their loved ones who are ill. If you are praying for healing of body or healing of spirit for a loved one, I invite you to recite that person's name out loud as my eyes pass yours. And for those watching online, if you are praying for healing for a loved one, please enter their name into the chat so that we can share that name with our congregation.
The host unmuted you. You can speak if you want to.
Names online? Reva Gambert, Grace Carper. To those whose names we have said out loud, we add those whom we hold in our hearts. We say, Baruch atah Adonai, Rofei HaCholim. We praise you, God, the source of healing. And let us say, Amen. This is a prayer for the return of Israel's captured. Our God and God of our ancestors, you are Matir Asurim, the one who frees the captives. We give thanks for the freedom of those released from captivity in Gaza. We join our prayers of gratitude with the families of those who have been reunited with loved ones after weeks of fear and uncertainty. We pray for the complete release of all who were kidnapped and for their safe return to their homes and loved ones. May Israel's leaders be strengthened in their pursuit of Pidyon Shvuim, the mitzvah of redemption of the captives. As the prophet Jeremiah wrote, a cry is heard in Ramah, wailing, bitter weeping, Rachel weeping for her children. She refuses to be comforted for her children who are gone. Thus said God, restrain your voice from weeping, your eyes from shedding tears, for there is a reward for your labor, declares God. They shall return from the enemy's land. Well, friends, Hanukkah is just around the corner, and I thought it would be interesting to dive into the best-known Hanukkah song, which is not I Have a Little Dreidel. Yes, please, right? So I'm actually going to go to it in my prayer book here. It's Ma'od Tzur, which, if you'd like to see it, Ma'od Tzur is on page 365, and you might want to turn there, particularly to look at the Hebrew that I'm going to focus on. Ma'od Tzur, known in English as Rock of Ages, is page 365. Ma'od Tzur is unquestionably the most universal of all Hanukkah songs. It is customarily sung following the lighting of the Chanukiah. Of course, the song is not called Rock of Ages. It was written in Hebrew, not English. And although Rock of Ages is an elegant translation, it is both distant from the meaning of the Hebrew and unfortunately shares the same title with a well-known Christian hymn. I had the pleasure of studying Ma'od Tzur this week with Rabbi Dahlia Marks, professor of liturgy at Hebrew Union College, who opened my eyes to just how strange a text Ma'od Tzur actually is. You see, it's not a Hanukkah song. Ma'od Tzur is a piyut, a category of medieval poetry built around phrases from the Bible. It was probably composed in the late 12th or early 13th century. The version that most of us are familiar with, the one that's here in the prayer book, Ma'od Tzur Yeshuati Lechana El Shabeach. You'll see there's the text, but that's only one verse of 5 or 6 verses that were originally part of the song. And only one of these verses is about Hanukkah. The original song could just as easily be sung on Purim or Pesach or Tisha B'Av, given the themes of its verses. The verse that we recognize is the first verse of the Piyut. Piyut, again, a term for medieval poem. Here is the actual translation, not what you see here in English. This is how, if I were to translate the Hebrew, this is what the Hebrew means. Ma'od sur, Yeshuati, O fortress, rock of my salvation, it is pleasant to praise you. Let my house of prayer be restored, and I will there offer thanksgiving. When you have prepared a slaughter of the barking foe, I will complete with song and psalm the dedication of the altar. It's a little different from the English words that we say, right? Now, so let me break this down for you. First, this is medieval. It is a piyut looking toward an ultimate redemption when Beit Tefillati, my house of prayer, namely the temple, will be restored, tikkun. In the Middle Ages, this wasn't going to happen anytime soon. It is a messianic hope for a distant future. The target, however, is a more immediate condition, namely the persecution of Jews in Europe, particularly in France and the Rhineland. Using language like tsar minabeach, barking foe, is unquestionably dehumanizing, describing one's enemies like animals. As Rabbi Marks pointed out in this session that I attended, when you have no weapons to defend yourself, all you can throw at your enemies are words. Why, in this verse, why when the temple is restored will we offer thanksgiving? Visham todah nizabeach. Todah, thanks. Why will we offer thanksgiving? Because in rabbinic literature, when the Messianic age finally arrives, all sacrifices will be annulled except for one, the thanks offering, the todah. We'll still do that. The piyut begins with an interesting expression for God. God is ma'oz, a fortress, a place of refuge, which certainly would have been an image of salvation relevant during the Crusades. Ma'oz Tzur Yeshuati is an example of the piyut form that is combining images drawn from the Bible. That exact expression does not appear in the Bible, but versions of it do. In Psalms, we find the phrase Tzur Ma'oz, which means be a rock, Tzur, a stronghold, Ma'oz for me. Psalms also calls God Tzur Yeshuati, you are the rock of my deliverance. That God is a rock, Tzur, is familiar to us from the morning prayer following Mechamocha, Tzur Yisrael, rock of Israel. Interestingly, this is the expression that was borrowed for the conclusion of the Declaration of Independence by the State of Israel, which concludes, placing our trust in the rock of Israel. Now, why did Ben-Gurion use that phrase for the Declaration of Independence for the nascent State of Israel? The secular Zionists didn't want to have anything to do with God. They were founding a democratic state, not a religious state, not a theocracy. But the Haredim insisted that there be a reference to God. Tzur Yisrael, rock of Israel, became the compromise. Read it as you will. The end of the first verse foresees the ultimate dedication of the altar, Chanukat HaMizbeach, the dedication of the altar in the temple. Now, it isn't about Hanukkah. It's about a redemption. Chanukat means dedication. It's a redemption that will happen when this time of suffering has ended. But because it has the word Hanukkah in it, dedication, it came to be associated with the holiday that we call Hanukkah. Each of the next 4 verses that you don't have reprinted here in our prayer book, but in a traditional prayer book, you would see the next 4 verses. Each deals with a particular moment in Jewish history when God redeemed us. First from Pharaoh, then from the Babylonians, then from the Persians, then from the Greeks. This last one being the only verse that is specific to Hanukkah, even though it doesn't appear here. But it's not just a review of history. The verses tend to follow a pattern. We were brought out of a condition of suffering, we rejoiced in our salvation, and our enemies were destroyed. This latter part is what makes the Piyut uncomfortable for modern Jews, but is a realistic reflection of the temperament of Jews who were being brutally slaughtered in the Crusades. This theme has been dubbed revengeful salvation, redemption being intimately connected to the punishment of our oppressors. Early printed copies of Mao Tzur only had 5 verses, but there is a 6th verse which didn't appear printed in a prayer book until 1702 in Amsterdam. Now remember, the Piyut is probably written in the late 12th, early 13th century. That does not mean that this 6th verse was added later. Many prayers were censored or preemptively removed from the prayer book so as not to arouse suspicion and endanger the Jewish community on account of a message of revengeful salvation. There were always spies, including apostate Jews who would rat out their former co-religionists. That doesn't mean that Jews didn't sing those words, they just didn't print them. The 6th verse is likely a reference to, I'm about to read it to you, it's likely a reference to the time in which the Piyut was actually written, making it a fitting conclusion, not a later addition. It goes like this: unsheath your holy arm and bring near the end that is salvation. Claim the vengeance of your servant's blood from the evil nation. For the hour has lengthened on us, and there is no end to the days of evil. Push back the red one in the shadow of Salomon, and raise for us the 7 shepherds. Right, yes, right. Like, this is rather strange, right? So there are some problems with the verse. 7 shepherds is a reference to an obscure passage in the book of Micah. It's hard to understand how it is being used here. Salmon, in the shadow of the Salmon, Salmon is not a Hebrew word. It might be related to Tzalmavet, as in the 23rd Psalm, Gate Tzalmavet, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Alternatively, it might be a variant of the word for cross, which is Slav. And who is this red one? Push back the red one. Well, the king who led the 3rd Crusade was Frederick Barbarossa, who had a red barbar beard. Maybe. We can only guess. Now, unlike the previous stanzas, this last one does not thank God for past miracles. Rather, it is a request for the future. Bring near the conclusion of our salvation. It quotes from the Psalms, "You avenge the spilled blood of your servants." We do not relate well to hate talk, the kind that our ancestors engaged in. But can we understand what it was like to be attacked, to be murdered in their homes, in their synagogues? Need we say more? Ma'od Tzur wasn't just a sweet song celebrating Hanukkah. It tapped into the fear and desperation of Jews who lacked security and were at the mercy of their enemies. Surely we can relate to that. Again, all they had at their disposal was words. Finally, what enabled this piyut to endure, given just how obscure it is? Almost certainly, it is the melody. Strangely, that melody is sometimes ascribed to Martin Luther, a 15th century priest, notorious anti-Semite. But in reality, it was just a folk tune. And like many folk tunes, it wound up being adapted in multiple ways, in this case by both church and synagogue. So let's face it, it's a darned good melody, which we shall sing at the conclusion of this evening's service. And now let's find out what's coming up this week and coming weeks at Congregation Beth Emek. Susie Mosca, events chair of our congregation, has our announcements.
Shabbat Shalom. I'm Susie Maska, events chair. Thank you, Rabbi Milder, for leading us in worship. And I would also like to thank Caitlin for being our tech mensch, for doing the behind-the-scenes work for this service to be live-streamed. And tonight's oneg is in remembrance of my mother's, Patty Matska's, yahrzeit, 34 years. Torah study will take place tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Shabbat morning services will begin at 10:30 a.m. and will be followed by the longtime members luncheon. Aaron Rubin will make a presentation about wills and trusts for young families on Sunday morning, December 3rd. On Sunday afternoon, the same day, you can find out more about Camp Newman. Monday evening, December 4th, John Rothman, a political and foreign policy consultant on faculty at the Fromm Institute at the University of San Francisco, will discuss current events in Israel and the Middle East. Those interested can join via Zoom. Orders for the Wise Sons Hanukkah pop-up are due by Wednesday, December 6th, and pickup will be Friday the 8th. Also on Friday, December 8th, will be Shabbat Hanukkah. Bring your Hanukkot and candles. More details can be found in the Once Around. Shabbat Shalom.
Let's continue now with Aleinu on page 282. We're going to sing the Aleinu at the top of the page. Please rise. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latekedu liotzer bereshit, shehu notei shamayim v'yosed aretz, u'moshav yikaro b'shamayim bimal, u'shchinat zo begovhei meromim, hu Eloheinu eino, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'motim, lifnei melech malchei hamachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'motim, lifnei melech malchei hamachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You may be seated. Let's continue reading together on page 285. Let the time not be distant, O God, when all shall turn to you in love, when corruption and evil shall give way to integrity and goodness, when superstition shall no longer enslave the mind, nor idolatry blind the eye. O may all created in your image become one in spirit and one in friendship, forever united in your service. Then shall your realm be established on earth, and the word of your prophet fulfilled. Adonai will reign forever and ever. Page 287. V'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo U'shemo echad. Judaism teaches us the sacred duty of memory. On this Shabbat, we remember those members of our congregation and their loved ones who have died within the past 30 days. If you are observing Shloshim, I invite you to rise as I recite the name of your loved one. We observe Shloshim for Ronald L. Katz. And we remember those whose yahrzeit occurred during the past week. I invite those who are observing yahrzeit for the following to rise as I recite their names: David Benzmehen, Margaret Harris, Patty Maska, Bruce Saltzman, Yeshaya Saruya, Stanley Simon, Steve Sontag, Jay Trackman. And I invite all who are observing the first year of mourning to rise at this time. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be a blessing. We rise as one congregation, united by memory and compassion to praise God's name. Mourner's Kaddish may be found on page 294. Yit gadal v'yit kadash shemei rabbah. Ba'alma divara chirute v'yamlich malchute. B'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chaye d'chol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehe shemei rabbah mivarach le'alam ul'almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yit hadar, v'yit ale, v'yit halal, shemei kudisha brichu. Le'ela minkol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechmata, da'amiran be'alma v'yimru amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemayim, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, huya aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. Let us say together, you may be seated. Following our closing song, we're going to join together in the back of the room for Kiddush and Motzi. Please pick up a cup of wine or grape juice and a piece of challah. We'll join together. And page 365 to get us in the spirit of Hanukkah coming up this week. We're going to sing the Hebrew and we're going to sing these two English verses that are not translations, but they are pretty good verses. So let's see here. Maoz tzur Yeshuati lechana el shabeach tikon beit tefilati v'sham toda disabeach le'etachin matbeach mitzar hamnabeach Azemor, Bashir, Mizmor, Hanukkah, HaMizbeach, HaZegmor, Bashir Mizmor, Chanukah, HaMizbeach, Rock of Ages, let our song praise your saving power. You amidst the raging foes were our sheltering tower. Furious they assailed us, but your arm availed us, and your word broke their sword when our own strength failed us, and your word broke their sword when our own strength failed us. Children of the Maccabees, whether free or fettered, break the echoes of the songs where you may be scattered. Yours the message cheering that the time is nearing, which will see all people free, tyrants disappearing, which will see all people free, tyrants disappearing. Shabbat Shalom and a happy Hanukkah. Choir members, thank you.